like coming into this world, Brian's been more like engulfed as far as understanding the different positions and people that talk about different things. For me, it was like kind of like starting over. Like I was really entrenched into the atheist world, so like I knew all those people and like kind of what their stances were and stuff. But then once we started focusing more on these social justice issues or social issues in general,
we were going to include them. Remember, we at the Mirth MythCon, we had a Muslim atheist and talking to a feminist but believing Muslim. We had the father of the cult leader of Scientology on stage. So it was very much about religion, but we were going to include elements that did not agree with the party line.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like this whole social justice conversation started becoming more mainstream. I think you guys, you and Shu and Chris and Derek and all the people have been, Sargon, everyone's been talking about this. You guys actually are the pioneers in a sense, because now all of a sudden it's becoming more mainstream and you're seeing more of these. This John Hamm thing was a perfect example. And it's going to be interesting to see like how the quote unquote normies or, the people that haven't been so tuned in start to react, because I think, we should be, free speech in America should be revered. We should be able to talk to one another, but also the social justice stuff. I would like to see more come out of the social justice stuff as actual social justice. I mean, there's terrible atrocities happening all around the world, and part of social justice should be, in my opinion, to actually help with those people, like, some of the genocides that are going on or some of the things. And like, what I see is just Twitter wars, people on Twitter going back and forth saying outrageous things because they feel they're justified because they're on the quote unquote right side of history. To other people. I mean, have you noticed that too? Is this just, in my opinion, it's kind of all a game?
I've noticed that Twitter has turned to absolute garbage. Yeah. You mildly bring up an offhand comment about something to mildly do with politics at all, and you will receive just a swarm of negative attention. And I'm not saying like it's bad to get negative attention, but it's a specific form of attention that is just, it's not fun. Twitter used to be fun, used to be a fun place to debate, and just you get this no debates anymore. You just get this weird gotcha crap that is kind of counterproductive. It's counter to actual discussion. I don't say like I block these people or mute them or anything. I'm just saying that I miss what Twitter used to be. I miss that it used to be more of a, like, you used to get these really good back and forths to these actual intellectual debates. And this is before they had the 280 character limit too. And it's just not that fun anymore. Yeah, definitely politics in general has kind of turned into less of it's less about debate now, and it's more about being on the right side, having the right opinion, and being outraged about the right thing, and having scientific proof that your form of outrage is better than their form of outrage.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing is that I see both sides citing science, and I'm like, well, that's sort of a win for science. We believe in that.
Yes.
I don't guys quoting magic on both sides.
Yes, you know what I was going to bring up that I kind of felt bad that for a little while there, my community, whatever you want to call the skeptic sphere, kind of hijacked the term skeptic, and one of the first things that, to try to, get rid of that attention that I wasn't liking was I was trying to assure people that people like Steve Shives and people like that, they're still skeptics too. Like, you can be a social justice warrior and a skeptic. You can be a conservative and a skeptic. Like, a skeptic is not a mutually exclusive term. And then you got people like Steven Crowder popping up saying, oh, that means I'm a skeptic too. I'm skeptical of the environment changing. And okay, this has gone too far. Skeptic doesn't just mean everything like that. Certainly there's still a need for skepticism. Certainly there's and more of a need for, just like debate and discussion about these things.
So since you were kind of the pioneer in like the atheist world, coming up with different topics, looking at things, different topics in that world, like, what are some things on the horizon right now that you're like, we need to start talking about this. We need to start looking at this. What are some of the things that are inspiring you these days?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I don't know that I'm really a pioneer. I appreciate that you guys say that. But I think I just happened to be one of the more popular voices at the time. That was anyways,
That's modest.
I'm not entirely sure. I'm starting to sense that we're going to be running into some of the same issues we were running into during the Bush administration, with Trump in the office, as they're selling them as more freedoms to religious people and more freedoms to the religious types. There's definitely, it's almost like we're going back to form again, kind of like pulling out some of the oldies, the abortion should be allowed kind of arguments again. I think there's going to be a little bit of a regression in the discussion in the future, I believe.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I think it was at that religious thing that was just put forth. Brian, you got to know this. The thing that the religious. Well, what's that, Michael? Religious task force. Thank you, Michael. Yeah. So it's weird. I think you're absolutely right. I think, and I guess pretty much everything's cyclical, like you go around and then all of a sudden you're back, bell bottoms are back in or whatever, but
I want to see what this is. I mean, for me, like I get that some people see the warning bells, but for me, what comes out of Trump's mouth is often not what he does. So I generally ignore what he says and see what he actually does. And yeah, well, so I guess I think yes, I think it's okay to be concerned. I don't think we should lose our shit about it yet, because I just don't know if anything's gonna happen.
That's just what I'm more concerned about as an atheist at this time, or as a secularist, I should say. But you know what? As a human, I think I'm more concerned about his Space Force, because what the hell is that?
I'm not sure. What is the Space Force?
Tell me about this. I didn't know about it.
Oh, you didn't hear about this? He made a motion, or I don't know what you call it in the United States, but he made a declaration that he wants a military branch called the Space Force to be started.
Why didn't they call it the Federation? Right? Like, come on.
I say a declaration in the U.S. is called.
That's not American enough. It has to have the word force in it.
So is this like
Starfleet Force?
Is this to send people to inhabit Mars or something?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably just your good old weaponization of space stuff that they were talking about back in Reagan's day.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Like weaponizing
SDI.
Satellites.
SDI.
Yeah. What did he call it? I think they called it the Star Wars Initiative.
Yeah,
or the Star Wars
Strategic Defense Initiative, or SDI.
That's right. Yeah. So I think it's just a continuation of Reagan's idea of weaponizing space. I'm kind of surprised that there isn't a huge outrage about this, because there was back when Reagan pushed it, because any weapon that's put up in space to defend us from an asteroid could very easily just be turned right back at us.
Right. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, that's interesting. I have to look into that.
There's some satellite on satellite warfare too. Right?
Yeah, there you go. Now that's a movie.